What's up, y'all? This is Hussein Nasser from iGeometry, and welcome to the second episode of JavaScript by Example Level 1. So, in the previous episode, we learned how to build a web server. We set up our Mac, we set up our laptop to host this small application that we're trying to develop here, a calculator. And yeah, we have everything running, we have everything set up. We built this simple few lines of code, and if you notice, that was our output, right? Not very impressive, but it's a start. So in this episode, we will actually continue building the interface. So this is literally titled Building the User Interface of this calculator. So you guys, most of you know how a calculator looks like, right? So that's what we're trying to design here. We're trying to mimic this here. So we have to build these buttons and these beautiful icons here in the HTML page that we're writing. So in order to do that, we need to have some sort of sketch, right? Sketch as what we're trying to accomplish here. So we want to build something like that. So there is a zero here, there's a dot. We're gonna do an equal, plus, negative, and all these kind of things, right? So we'll have to have buttons. We have to learn how to create buttons and how to create a text box. That's a text. And yeah, and most importantly, we need to learn how to create a table, because if you think about it, this is just a table and it's like a grid, right? So we need to learn this in order to build that. So do you see what I did there? We have a goal, and then we learn tools to build that. We don't learn how to use the tools before we actually build the thing, right? So it's the other way around. As we're trying to learn something, we find the tools that will help us accomplish our goals. All right. It's like in math, most people are confused by math in general, where they find it really hard to see where can I apply this, and when can I apply the integral versus the derivative versus that, because in math we grown up learning tools instead of learning the applications. Does that make sense? And that's why it's really hard to apply math, because we're okay, solve this equation, or simplify this equation, or solve for x. What does that mean, right? And so we're solving tools, right? We're learning tools, but we don't know where we apply them, right? That's the same thing, in my opinion, with programming. That's why programming is hard, and for a lot of people, obviously, not everyone, but in general, people find it hard to learn programming because, okay, when do I learn? When can I use the equal versus the if statement versus the for loop versus the while loop versus the switch? It's the same thing. It's our educational system is teaching us the tools first, and then it says, hey, you have all these tools, go build something. You know, it's kind of hard to memorize what each tool does, versus go try building something, and then, okay, I need to do that. All right, I need to learn how to do that. I need to learn how to build a table. So I go and learn how to build a table using the table or the HTML. All right, I promise I'm gonna start now in a second. All right, let's get started. So yeah, first of all, we need to build the interface, and the interface is nothing but actually pure HTML. So again, it's already no JavaScript in this series, in this episode, but hopefully very soon. We need to learn these basic constructs. So let's build something like that. Here, right? Let's get started. All right. So sweet. This is, let's forget about that part for a second. So this is a table, right, of say 1, 2, 3, 4 columns and literally 5 rows, right? So in HTML, a table tag is actually called table. So that's what we're gonna start with. It's a table of 4 rows and 5 rows and 5 columns. And 4 columns, sorry. So let's build a simple table here to start with and see where we can go, right? All right, so we're gonna go to our nice application here, and you can, by the way, add as many new lines as you want. It doesn't really matter. All right, let's get to work. So we're gonna build a table, and again with HTML, if you start a tag, you have to close it. You almost have to close it. Yes, you always have to close it. All right, you know it's right. HTML, that's the closing tag, opening tag, closing tag, opening tag, closing tag. Okay, so inside this table, again, if I now save this and then refresh, nothing really happens because I didn't build. I built a table, but there is no rows or no columns in that table. So how can I build columns? So let's start with building. Before you build the columns, the application or the HTML how it's designed is always you have to start with rows. Okay, so you start this way, right? You build 1 row, 2nd row, 3rd row, and a 4th row and a 5th row, right? So let's build 1 row with 1 column. Okay, let's just start with very simple name. What is a row in HTML? It is that tr. And then since we opened a row, we close it. So now we just started a row. So that is a single row, but we did not specify how many columns is in that row. So what is a column in HTML? Very simple. It's TD. So TR is a row, TD is a column. And then we close the TD. And then just like that, we have 1 row, and inside that row there is 1 single column. And between that, the closing and the opening of that column, I'm going to write something. I'm going to call it column 1. And then refresh. All right, so we're seeing something on the screen, but it doesn't look like a table. So that is because in HTML by default, when you draw tables, they don't have any border. So you have to draw your border yourself. So there's something called border, and that border is the thickness of that border. So let's just go ahead and do 1 for the border, save. By the way I'm saving is Command S. That's why you don't see me on doing that all the time. Go ahead and refresh, and that's it. That looks like a table, all right. It's a table with 1 column. So who can tell me how can I add another column? Very simple. Copy and paste. You're gonna grow to love copy and paste, guys. Let's do 4 columns. The first column, we're gonna column 2. The 3rd column, column 3, column 4. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Nice. Very nice, guys. Very nice. All right. So now we established, we just established that this is a table. that has a maximum of 4 columns. And HTML knows that. It knows that you have 4 columns. That's very important. Okay. Obviously, now we will come back and start building this part. We're not worried about this part for now because there's a little bit of trickier part. We're not going to worry about this part yet, but let's build that. Okay. So that's 4 by 4 literally. So let's just do that. Okay. So the first column is AC, right? It is plus minus. I don't know how to do that, but yeah. I think we can do that. So that changes the, I think, the sign. All right. And then the third one is a percentage. And the fifth one is division. Okay, I don't think I know. Where is the division again? There you go. Nope. I can't find that, guys. I don't know where's the division. There's a special math key that I can't find. Anyway, let's just do that. That's division. Anyway, in JavaScript, this is division. All right, refresh. Looks good, right? Looks good. So we have the first row. Nice. Some of you will say, it's not of a fixed size if you notice, right? Because the default is just it's each column is auto sized to the column to the content of that column, right? We're gonna fix that real soon, really easy. But let's take it real slow here. So how do I do another column, another row? We copy the entire row. That's one row, right? With one column, right? Let's go ahead and paste. That's the second row. And then let's change that second row to 7, 8, 9 multiplication. 7, 8, 9, and multiplication. Then just X. There you go. Looks a little bit awkward, but we're gonna fix that. Don't worry, guys. We're gonna fix that. We're gonna fix everything. And then 4, 5, 6, subtract. 4, 5, 6, subtract. And then 1, 2, 3 plus. 1, 2, 3 plus. Okay. What do we have here, guys? Nice. That's a nice calculator. All right, so let's fix these width things, right? So we want each button, if you notice here, like each button, even if the content doesn't auto fit, like they have an exact size, right? It's almost a perfect square. So how do we do that? It's really quite simple, right? And to do that, right, we're gonna do something called call width, if I'm not mistaken. Let's just do a call width of 50 pixels, right? And just try that, just to make sure that this is actually that size. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe it's just width. Yep, it's just width, sorry. All right, so you notice like we fixed one of them and the rest of entire column just auto-sized, right, to fit the rest of the table. So that's a good thing, right? So let's make it 30. Yeah, that sounds good. And then you can set every single column in your row basically. So let's do that. Just like that. Look at that. And similarly, let's try setting the height. Nice. You notice that? It's getting bigger. It's getting like a perfect square there. That's nice. So guys, if you will gonna notice that if you start searching on the web, there are literally so many ways, there are tens of ways to actually do this task, right? This is one way of doing it, right? You can use other tools like CSS, cascade style sheets that actually simplify that, right? But again, we're making things simple. We're explaining things from scratch here, so let's just do this. Nice. So now we took care of the width, but how about the height? Does not seem to follow us, right? We need to take care of the rest of these as well. All right, so let's copy that and let's just do the height on one of them. So if I fixed one of them, the rest of them just comply, if you notice, right? And that's cool. So we can just fix one of each here. And we get ourselves a nice calculator, right? So I don't think we need to set the height on all columns. One is enough, right? Yep. Again, with CSS, there's ways that you can type this as a class and then apply it in all that tags, so you don't have to repeat and copy and paste that code all over. All right, sounds good. All right, so we have some sort of a calculator going on. If you notice these numbers now, they are kind of going to the left, right? This is the left. That's your left. I want them in the center, just like that, right? So how do I do that? There is, in each TD, you have to do something called align, right? So you notice like our code is trying to grow up, to grow as we start building this application, right? So it's good to learn the basic HTML before learning CSS. We'll come to that, but yeah, let's get to these buttons now. Now number 7, there's something called align equal center. There are values there where you can put different values: center, left, and right. And if you want to learn more, always your best source is W3 School for any HTML code that you can learn, right? And just like that, it's pushed in the center. How about that? That is cool. That is cool. Nice. We're gonna do the same thing with 8. This guy. This guy. Nice. Oh, we forgot the 4 and the 1. Let's do it. Where's the 4? Oh, we didn't do that. Where's the 1? There you go. And just like that, we have some sort of a decent calculator. Obviously now all of you guys will ask us, hey, I want to click on these and do something. We'll come to that, don't worry. Slowly, we'll learn how to build the interface first, right? It's good to learn how to build these basic blocks yourself, because there are tools that actually drag and drop and build HTML. Like, I don't know if there are like new tools, but there used to be something called Dreamweaver back in my days. So I don't know if this is still alive. So, but I don't like to use, personally, I don't like to use tools that do stuff on my behalf, because I'm kind of a guy that I need to know what's going on in my application all the time. I need to know what code is written. I need to understand all these kind of codes, right? So we missed this guy, we missed that, we missed these. Let's make them in the center as well. And maybe in the next episode we'll learn how to do we have to do some JavaScript first, right? But then we come back and clean up this interface and remove these duplication, because you notice, like, I repeated this code a lot, and this is not the best practice by any mean, but we're learning, right? So it's good. You can't just start throwing things. I don't want to throw things that sounds really difficult for you guys, so try to make things as simple as possible. I don't know if I'm achieving that goal or not, but I hope. Do let me know if you have any questions, right? But you notice the pattern that I'm trying to achieve here, right? We build something, we find a problem, we fix it. But we always have a goal. We have a goal to build something. It's always this. In all my videos, I built something. This is my goal, and I face trouble in the journey, and then I find solutions. Like here, right? First, oh, the cells are too thin. Okay, I need to learn how to make them bigger, right? And then I learned how to do that. But obviously, I know how to do it because I have like more than 15 years of work on this field. But in your case, or any programmer really, if you want to learn something, you have to face problems, and you know where to use it in this case. So any application, anything that you'll learn in the future, you'll face some kind of a challenge, and then you'll search how to fix that. And in case of HTML, your most source is actually W3 schools, online, books, just to solve your problem. And you're gonna be good at this because you have a goal you're trying to achieve. You're not just following instructions, right? You want to do something. Now, maybe you're seeing something here that I'm not seeing, right? You want to do something different, and now you will have this state of mind that tells you, okay, I need to fix this problem. I don't like that this is, for example, like a square. I want to make the AC button, the clear button, kind of bigger. You can do that. Nothing's stopping you from doing that, right? So you can change in the application, but this is obviously simple. But in general, this is the state of mind that I want you to think in. I want you to, like, you're building something, you face a problem, you fix it. Always. All right, now, what is the second problem that we face? That's the problem. We need something there on top. But, okay, so that's also a row, but it kind of has one big column that is spanning the entire 4 columns. All right, so you know that the word I used, span. So there is a column span of 4, right? There is one column, but it's spanning 4 columns. Let's try that. So before, this is the first row, right? The selected row is this. So I want to add a row before that. Come on, man. That's one row. That's one column. And there's one thing we need to know. This column is a special column. It spans 4 columns. And it has a 0 in it. Does it start with a 0? Yes, it starts with a 0. So save and refresh. Look at that. All right, guys. That sounds good, right? But there's a little problem. For some reason, this 0 is on the right. Someone? Oh, some light bulbs are going there, right? Do I want it in the center? No, sir. I want this on that. Right. Oh, God. Right. You know, this is a mirror. It's flipping. So, come on, sir. Oh, this is done. Sweet. All right. Some more challenge. Some more challenge. Here, there's a 0 that is. You know what's that 0? There is a 0, there is a dot, and there is an equal. That's the final column. That's a little bit tricky. So we have 3 columns. One of them is spanning 2, correct? So how can I do that? We have 3 columns, right? So that's the last column first, before the end of the table. TR. There is a 3 column. So 1, 2, 3. It's very important. We have 3 columns. But one of them, which is the first one, happened to be the first one, is spanning 2 columns. Look at that. Obviously, you don't see anything. So let's type something here. So the number 0 is here. The second column, what was the second column again? Was a dot. There you go. And the third is nothing but an equal. And obviously we need to center these. We need to center this. How about the 0 is actually not centered. It's on the left for some reason. So we're just following the Mac calculator here. You don't have to. By all means, guys, this is your application. Build it the way you want. You're just learning. You're just building something. You know how to build it. You know how to use the tools. We're both building a calculator. But you feel free to go wild, all right? You don't have to be exactly like I do it. So this is on the left. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, that's not bad. Sounds good. I like my application. I like my calculator. Maybe I'll make it bigger next time. I don't know. But it looks nice. What do you think, guys? I think it's good. I think it's very good. I think it's a logical stop for us to stop here, digest all that. And obviously, guys, I'll tell you that all the code that we authored here, don't feel like you have to copy it. I know I type fast, but the code will be available on this GitHub page, and I'll copy this GitHub page is literally in the description below, right? You just click on that, and then when you go there, you click on calc, and that's the source code. Obviously, this is the previous episode, but the next episode, you'll find everything is under branches. So you click here, and you click, that's branch 1, which is episode 1. Then you'll see another thing called episode 2 and episode 3. And each episode, we're going to label it with a branch, so you know which episode is to pull from, right? All right, guys, let's stop here and continue in the next series, next episode. All right, hope you enjoyed that. Do ask me questions. If you have any questions, just comment below. And I'm going to see you on the next one. Goodbye.